From translation, Net New English Translation. This 16th day of the year. Today we are reading passages Genesis 46 to 47. Genesis chapter 46, verses 1 to 34. So Israel set out with all that was his. When he came to Beersheba, he offered sacrifices to the God of his father Isaac. God spoke to Israel in a vision at night and said, "Jacob, Jacob." Jacob replied, "Here I am." He said, "I am God, the God of your father. Do not be afraid to go down to Egypt, for there I will make you into a great nation. I will go down to Egypt with you, and I will surely bring you back again, and Joseph's own hand will close your eyes." Then Jacob left Beersheba, and the sons of Israel carried their father Jacob, their little children, and their wives in the wagons that Pharaoh had sent to carry him. They also took their livestock and the possessions they had acquired in the land of Canaan, and they came to Egypt, Jacob and all his descendants with him. His sons, his grandsons, his daughters, and his granddaughters, he brought all his descendants with him to Egypt. These are the names of the descendants of Israel who came to Egypt: Jacob and his sons, Reuben, Jacob's firstborn. The descendants of Reuben, Hanok, Pulu, Hezron, and Carmi. The descendants of Simeon, Jemuel, Jamin, Ohad, Jachin, Zohar, and Shaul, the son of a Canaanite woman. The descendants of Levi, Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. The descendants of Judah, Onan, Shelah, Perez, and Zerah. But and Onan died in the land of Canaan. The descendants of Perez were Hezron and Hamul. The descendants of Issachar, Tola, Puvah, Jashub, and Shimron. The descendants of Zebulun, Serd, Elon, and Jaleel. These are the descendants of Leah, whom she bore to Jacob in Paddan Aram, along with his daughter Dinah. In all the descendants of Leah numbered 33. The descendants of Gad, Ziphion, Hagi, Shuni, Esban, Iri, Arodi, and Arali. The descendants of Asher, Imnah, Ishva, Ishvi, Beriah, and Serah. The descendants of Beriah, Heber, and Malchiel. These are the descendants of Zilpah, whom Laban gave to his daughter Leah, and she bore these to Jacob in total 16 persons. The descendants of Rachel, Joseph and Benjamin. The descendants of Benjamin, Bela, Betcher, Ashbel, Gera, Naaman, Ehi, Rosh, Muppim, Huppim, and Ard. These are the descendants of Rachel, whom she bore to Jacob in all 14 persons. The descendants of Dan, Hushim. The descendants of Naphtali, Jaziel, Guni, Jezer, and Shillem. These are the descendants of Bilhah, whom Laban gave to his daughter Rachel, and she bore these to Jacob in total 7 persons. All the persons belonging to Jacob who came to Egypt with him, not counting his sons' wives, numbered 66 in all. The descendants of Joseph, who were born to him in Egypt, were 2. All the people of the house of Jacob who came to Egypt were 70. He sent Judah ahead of him to Joseph to get directions for them to Goshen. When they arrived in the region of Goshen, Joseph hitched his chariot and went to meet Israel his father in Goshen. When he met him, he threw his arms around his neck and wept for a long time. Israel said to Joseph, "Now let me die, since I have seen your face and know that you are still alive." Joseph said to his brothers and to his father's household, "I will go up and speak with Pharaoh. I will say to him, 'My brothers and my father's household, who were in the land of Canaan, have come to me. The men are shepherds, for they have been keepers of livestock, and they have brought their flocks and their herds and all that they own.' You must say, 'Your servants have been keepers of livestock from our youth until now, both we and our fathers, so that you may settle in the land of Goshen, for all shepherds are detestable to the Egyptians.'" Genesis chapter 47, verses 1 to 31. So Joseph went and told Pharaoh, "My father and my brothers, with their flocks, their herds, and all that they own, have come from the land of Canaan and are now in the region of Goshen." He chose 5 of his brothers and presented them to Pharaoh. Pharaoh said to Joseph's brothers, "What is your occupation?" They said to Pharaoh, "Your servants are shepherds, both we and our ancestors." They also said to Pharaoh, "We have come to sojourn in the land, for there is no pasture for your servants' flocks, because the famine is severe in the land of Canaan. Now, please let your servants settle in the land of Goshen." Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Your father and your brothers have come to you. The land of Egypt is before you. Settle your father and your brothers in the best region of the land. Let them live in the land of Goshen. And if you know any capable men among them, put them in charge of my livestock." Then Joseph brought his father Jacob in and presented him to Pharaoh, and Jacob blessed Pharaoh. Pharaoh said to Jacob, "How old are you?" Jacob said to Pharaoh, "The years of my sojourning are 130. Few and hard have been the years of my life, and they have not attained to the years that my fathers lived during the days of their sojourning." Then Jacob blessed Pharaoh and went out from the presence of Pharaoh. Joseph settled his father and his brothers in Egypt, and gave them property in the best part of the land, in the region of Ramesses, just as Pharaoh had commanded. Joseph also provided food for his father, his brothers, and all his father's household, according to the number of their little ones. There was no food in all the land because the famine was very severe, and the land of Egypt and the land of Canaan languished because of the famine. Joseph collected all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the grain they were buying, and Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's palace. When the money from the lands of Egypt and Canaan was used up, all the Egyptians came to Joseph and said, "Give us food. Why should we die before your eyes? For our money is gone." Then Joseph said, "Give me your livestock. If your money is gone, give me your livestock, and I will give you food in exchange for your livestock." So they brought their livestock to Joseph, and Joseph gave them food in exchange for the horses, the flocks of sheep, the herds of cattle, and the donkeys. That year he supplied them with food in exchange for all their livestock. When that year was over, they came to him the next year and said to him, "We cannot hide from my lord that our money is all gone, and our livestock belong to my lord. There is nothing left for my lord except our bodies and our land. Why should we die before your eyes, both we and our land? Buy us and our land for food, and we, with our land, will be slaves to Pharaoh. Give us seed so that we may live and not die, and so that the land will not become desolate." So Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh, for every Egyptian sold his field, because the famine was severe on them. The land became Pharaoh's. As for the people, he made slaves of them from one end of Egypt to the other. Only the land of the priests he did not purchase, for the priests had a portion from Pharaoh, and they ate their portion which Pharaoh had given them. That is why they did not sell their land. Then Joseph said to the people, "Look, today I have bought you and your land for Pharaoh. Here is seed for you, and you may plant the land. When you harvest it, give 1/5 to Pharaoh, and 4/5 will be yours for seed for the fields, for food for yourselves, and for food for your households and children." They said, "You have saved our lives. Let us find favor in the sight of my lord, and we will be Pharaoh's slaves." So Joseph made it a statute concerning the land of Egypt that Pharaoh should have the 5th part, except for the land of the priests, which did not become Pharaoh's. Now the Israelites settled in the land of Egypt in the region of Goshen. They acquired property there and were fruitful and increased greatly in number. Jacob lived in the land of Egypt 17 years, so the length of Jacob's life was 147 years. When the time drew near for Israel to die, he called for his son Joseph and said to him, "If now I have found favor in your eyes, put your hand under my thigh and swear to me that you will deal with me in faithfulness and kindness. Do not bury me in Egypt. When I lie down with my fathers, you will carry me out of Egypt and bury me in their tomb." Joseph said, "I will do as you say." Jacob said, "Swear to me." So Joseph swore to him. Then Israel bowed down at the head of the bed.